What is going on, 35-day Danners, and welcome to an epic episode of Ask Dan. So today's a mindset topic, right? So we sort of neglect the mindset component of the health and fitness journey or any sort of a goal. So what a better way to start it than talking about emotion. I'm not going to get all teary, I promise, and I'm not going to get all jolly either. But basically, why emotion is a massive topic why emotion is very important in health and fitness is because everything you do is going to make you feel a certain way, right? So whether it's good, bad, whatever it may be, everything that you do or how you feel is going to reflect the amount of performance you put into your workout, how seriously you take your health, and more importantly, the outcome, your actual goal or your end state. So what you want to look like at the end, or what is it that you want to actually achieve, right? So that's where emotion gets involved. Now, not many people talk about emotion, and not many people can relate to why emotion is so important in health and fitness, but I'm about to drop the hidden secrets right now and tell you how you can use emotion to get the results that you want and to make yourself feel better, right? Like there's no point in feeling upset or bad, or but we'll get into that straight away. So I hope you guys have had a cracker week. Obviously, it's the weather's been a bit hazy going in Sydney, but we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about emotions. How does that make you feel? So basically, what I want to talk about first is what is emotion, right? Emotion is one's feeling based on your current situation or the circumstances that you're dealt with immediately right now. So, for example, when I'm running the Ask Dan webinar, I feel super happy because I get to help people around the world. I potentially get to change people's life per sentence, per webinar. All it takes is one sentence for me to say to give you an emotional attachment to that sentence and to therefore take action. And that's exactly what I want to, what I want to promote and what my mission is. My mission is to change as many lives as I can and get people to, take value in their health and wellness and introduce fitness and exercise and physical exercise and movement into their daily routine to live a more fulfilled and vital life, right? So that's the objective. And doing this webinar gives me all these warm and fuzzy feelings. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but there's butterflies in my stomach because it could be this webinar that I'm actually talking that leads you to take action to step into the body of your dreams, right? It could be you might reach out and say, Dan, I'm really ready to make a change. Hit me up on the 35-day Dan program. Let's get enrolled and let's get started. So that's the emotion behind it, right? As soon as my current situation right now, the fact that I'm on a webinar with you guys is I feel very happy because potentially I'm changing lives, like I said. So that's emotion, what you're feeling based on your current circumstance or your situation then and there, right then and there. Now, scientists have broken down into 6 basic emotions that people feel. One of those emotions, obviously, as you know, is happiness. Second one is sadness. The third one is disgust, fear, surprise, and anger. So I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but I'll give you some examples related to the health and fitness world. Obviously, when you jump on that scale, if weight loss is your goal, you look down, you feel happy, you feel incredible. So that warm feeling of success and happiness comes from feeling great after seeing results. Right, sadness, obviously, on the flip side is that when you are lost or, you don't feel good about the way you look or whatever it may be, you feel a bit sad, you feel a bit down, and that's just another example of sadness, right? So disgust is obviously, the way I look at celery, I was like, it's a bit disgusting, but no offense to celery lovers out there, like you guys are still people and I love you all. But yeah, the way I look at celery, it's like, I just really can't do it, and it's just not going to happen for me right then and there. So that's disgust for me, right? And fear, more importantly, what is fear? Fear is, feeling scared of something. You feel like your stomach's about to drop, that instant roller coaster feeling. It's like fear, is the roller coaster going to let me go? Or, all these feelings start happening and that's fear. So that's the fourth one on the list. And the fifth one's surprise. So, you turn a corner and somebody comes out and boo, and you get surprised. That was a pretty poor example, but let's just say hypothetically somebody was around that corner and I'm just walking past and bang, or a loud noise, an instant noise after a silent horror movie, for example. You're so into that movie and you just hear a bang, loud noise, and you jump, and that's the basic emotion of surprise. And the more common one that I see on a daily basis is anger. Anger is a very powerful emotion if used carefully. So anger is the biggest decision maker. That's majority of the time people rush to make a decision out of anger, or they might say something out of anger, and it's just like a very powerful feeling, very powerful emotion, and learning to control it and learning to harness it for the right reasons can actually do you benefits, right? So like I mentioned, guys, activating the right emotions through health and fitness isn't, it's not only therapeutic, but it's actually going to release like an epic chain of results. Now, what I mean by this is, I'll give you an example, right? So learning how to release anger, fear, and sadness through exercise helps build your self-esteem, your self-image, right? So for example, when I'm training at the gym and I've given myself a 40-minute slot, or I'm doing a 35-day damn workout and it's like 30 to 40 minutes, I try and use the anger that I've built up throughout the day. You know, you may have had a stressful day at work, or you may have had, you know, stressful time on the way home traveling, you know, public transport. Everybody, I haven't met anyone that says like, I really love public transport. And sometimes that, you know, gets on your nerves and you get super angry. And I use that anger to harness every single movement, whether it's a warm up, whether it's a stretch, whether it's an explosive movement where I'm doing hypertrophy training, or whether I'm muscle building, whatever it may be. Every single rep, every single exercise, every single set, I'm harnessing a little bit of anger to just get me through those sets, right? So more importantly, how many times have you used anger, right? Or how many times have you taken a leap of faith? Because it's fear and it's exhilarating as soon as you take that leap of faith. Like for some people who are scared of heights, right? You get that hype, you get that fear, that shocking fear of, you know, taking a leap from, it might be a diving board if you're diving into a swimming pool, it might be just be going a plane ride, simple as just the plane taking off, right? And then as soon as the takeoff happens, it's an exhilarating feeling and you start relaxing, and it's for some people, other people that have a phobia and it's next level stuff, but majority of the time, you know, that fear, once you take that leap of faith, that emotion behind it is massive, right? So it's gonna cause your brain to constantly pull you back into your comfort zone and constantly say, you know what, no, don't do it. You're gonna start doubting yourself, and then doubt plays a little bit more, you know, amplifies that fear component, and you're back at your comfort zone. But once you take that leap of faith, right, the fear is forgotten about, and you just start enjoying that happiness. And more importantly, you look back at the past 15, 20 seconds and say, I actually took that next step. I took action and stepped outside my comfort zone, and it actually feels incredible, right? So now what I wanted to say also is I wrote a little bit of a reasoning how I harness my daily emotions into my workouts, not only just my workouts, my entire health and fitness, right? So whether it comes to meal prepping, whether it comes to getting up at 5 a.m., doesn't matter how tired I am, you know, getting my goals sorted and getting everything sorted. So basically, I'll give you the chain of events that I've written down here. So I use anger and fear and sadness during the workout to hype myself up and push past my own limits, right? So even if I want to exert, it's to exert all this energy and unwanted energy. So it's really negative energy that's bringing me down. So there's no better way for me to exert that energy than through my workouts. I'm so passionate about my workout. I'm so passionate about change, and I'm so passionate about helping people that I harness all that negative energy. I don't want to ever have any negative energy in me, right? So I harness all of that and I push past every single rep. I hype myself up. Come on, Dan, you can do this, you know. So I'm using those negative emotions and I'm transforming them transitioning them into positive outcomes, right? So for example, if I want to do that extra 1 or 2 reps at the end of, you know, my program might say a set of 10, and I'm really failing at 7 or 8, but then I'll hype myself up using anger and fear and say, look, push past this pain point, like push past this barrier. This is just another limitation, this is your mind telling you to go back into the comfort zone. Like we want to step out of our comfort zone every single time we hit a workout, every single time we food prep, everything that we do, we want to push out of that comfort zone, right? So now I'll give you the flow-on effect of doing that on a consistent basis, right? So the flow-on effect is after 3 or 4 days of spending, like, you know, physical activity, so it might be at the gym, it might be boot camping, might be group class training, whatever it may be, 3 or 4 days of you constantly pushing yourself consistently and using workouts or exercises as an output to that negative energy will flow on to your next weigh in, right? You're 5 days in on this exercise or physical plan or whatever you want to call it. And if you weigh yourself and you measure yourself, and now if weight loss is your goal, your measurements have gone down, your weight's gone down, what's the next feeling that happens, right? As soon as you see that number on that scale, as soon as you see that measurement come back and it's in your favor, immediately all that rush of positive energy and that, you know, proud moment, so you're chest proud and you basically like give yourself a pat on the back. And so that initial exit point for that energy has found better use. And the flow-on effect is after 3 or 4 days of consecutive, you know, exerting of that energy, you jump on that scale and you're like, wow, you know, I've either gained muscle or, you know, I'm growing in size because I've strengthened my fundamental goal, or I've lost weight and I've lost size. So now all of a sudden, not only do I feel better, but now I look better and I'm actually heading towards my goal. So that's where I found my emotions to really, really kick in, where I consistently used the gym or in any physical exercise as an exit point for my negative energy. And after a week or two, I was starting to see results. And like I said, not only was I feeling incredible because, I'm not stressed out or, the glass is half full sort of a mentality, but I was just like, I was getting results and feeling good about it and enjoying the process and having fun. Like it's really a no-brainer there. So it's like, boom, you start getting results. And all of a sudden you keep going back because the moment that you don't go to the gym, you keep that negative energy on the inside, or the moment you don't work out, I should say, sorry, you keep that negative energy on the inside and there's nowhere for you to release it. And so you think to yourself, what, I'll use the gym as my exit point. I'll use the gym to, give myself that peacefulness and away from everything where nothing's a problem. And then I'll do that 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, moving forward. And all of a sudden I've transformed. Not only have I transformed my mindset, but now I'm being able to emotionally control. So I'm able to control my emotions and use the negative emotions to give me a positive outcome, guys. So that's probably the best thing that I really recommend is if you ever feel upset, right? Noise cancelling headphones, pick your favorite song and just run with it, right? Just literally connect to those headphones and disconnect from the world. Let everything out, all the things that are bothering you from the inside. It may not change the outcome of those what's stressing you out, but it's definitely going to fuel the next 30 to 45 minutes of your workout, and you are going to raise that intensity about 25%. So if I go into the gym all happy and jolly and ready to rock and roll, I notice that my heart rate or my intensity levels are probably between 60 and 70%. The moment I'm angry and I'm using fear and anger and I'm just driving myself in sadness to push that rate. I'm not saying that I'm always like that, but I'm using that as a segue to raise that intensity up to like 80 to 90%, where I'm actually, pouring sweat, making changes and just getting results, right? So use that negative energy and recycle that into a positive outcome. Exert it, like get it out of your system and through exercise. So that was my biggest game changer when I was doing my transformation. Like it's all fun and games for the first 2 or 3 weeks, but then life catches up and all of a sudden it's not feasible for me to be constantly at the gym because there might be a bad day, bad traffic, or I'm half an hour late now. Now the gym's packed and blah blah blah. So I'm using all that negative energy and I'm just pushing myself even harder and therefore getting the results that I really like, right? So more importantly, guys, always remember it's okay to feel any emotion at any given time, right? Like it's completely normal. The way that I assess my situation, the way I assess the situation present to the way you assess it, it might be completely different. I might look at that and look at it as a glass half full and be like, wow, that's a great outcome. You might look at that and be like, that's not a good outcome, and you bring yourself down and you might get sad. So it's completely normal to feel the emotions, obviously, right? But more importantly, just make sure when you feel the positive emotions, just make sure you enjoy that. Like make sure you're actually feeling them and you actually understand that this is the way moving forward. You need to be able to get to that spot, that emotion on a constant basis. So if right now you're balanced between the negative emotions and the positive emotions, emotions are imbalanced, you want to be able to outweigh the negative emotions, right? Still have them there because life is life and stress will still be there, but have them there to fuel, to add more flame, to add more kindle to your fire, so the fire gets bigger. Your happiness fire, if that makes sort of sense, guys. It was a pretty poor analogy, but I'll still run with it. So yeah, that's definitely one technique I use on a regular basis to more importantly just fuel what I'm how intense my workouts are going to be, and really just to get it off my chest. Like I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that saying. So just a couple of stats that I picked up off the internet, and I'll share the link below. So exercise has shown to improve emotional and mental health, right? So through physical activity, your mental health and emotional health there's a positive increase in improvements. So people who have an emotional attachment to their goal are more likely to achieve it. So my goal of losing weight, changing my body and getting into the body of my dreams, I emotionally attached myself to that goal and therefore I achieved it. Obviously with the right techniques and the right tools, but it's definitely giving your mindset clarity to achieve that goal and basically take what you think you're worth. So negative emotions can lead to anxiety, stress, and hypertension. So hypertension is like high blood pressure, guys, just pre-blood pressure. stage. And so, yeah, so if you're constantly feeling anxiety and you're negative, you're always negative, the glass is half empty or there's no glass at all, then that could lead to anxiety and all these other stressful situations and hypertension, which is something that we want to no deal stay away from, right? And also, guys, self-esteem, like that's a big topic, and should be a webinar in itself, right? It's your self-esteem. It's basically the feeling of self-importance and self-value, right? So how important are you to this planet? How important are you to you? And more important, how much do you value yourself? Every one of us are on this planet for a reason, right? Like we don't just rock up and do what we got to do. Enjoy every single moment and just make sure that you hold your head up high every single time. A bad decision, a poor decision, no matter what, you are you, and you are so, there is only one version of you, twins or whatever it may be. You are still you, right? The decisions that where you are today is because of the decisions that you've made. You can always take action to change, but you should always hold your head up high and live your life with a high head, raise your standards, and make sure you take action to meet those standards, guys. So big topic, right? A little bit longer than what I anticipated, but so much information and so much knowledge that I just wanted to dump on you guys, because it actually is an important topic. It's definitely something that I really, really can't stress enough of, that you need emotions. Emotions are what's going to, you've heard of people say cold-blooded and all that, but emotions is what's going to drive you to succeed. Because if you really, really, really want something and it's going to make you happy, you're going to do whatever it's going to take. You're going to take action. You're going to do whatever you can to sustain that feeling of happiness, right? Obviously, you've heard people say, oh, if I win the lotto, and they pretty much start spending the lotto money before they even start picking the numbers, right? Like, if I win the lotto, I'm going to, buy a boat, buy a car, buy a country, buy an island, whatever it may be. You hear people say that all the time, right? And so they get so happy and they get so pumped. But then if they don't win the lotto, they're like, okay, back to our lifestyle. So use these techniques, guys, in your health and fitness life, because it's like, you know what? I can sleep in tomorrow morning. I've only had 4 hours of sleep, but what I'm actually going to do is get up, because I'm not too happy with what I look like right now. I want to start seeing some more muscle definition. I want to start feeling fitter, faster, stronger. And in order for me to do that, I have to get up tomorrow morning to use that negative energy that I picked up at work because it was a late shift, and I'm going to use that to exert it into a cracker, like a friggin' amazing workout. And then that way I'm getting closer to my fitter, faster, stronger goals. All right, team. Sorry to keep you guys for so long. I hope there was so much value in that, because I could keep going for hours and hours, but it's really quick webinar, because it's just like knowledge bomb. And then I just want you guys to consume and sponge. But if there's anything that you learned, guys, is try and convert your negative energy into positive. Try and convert the negative energy into a positive outcome through health and fitness, whether it's through physical exercise, getting up a little bit earlier to food prep. Just try and put a smile on your dial. Start with a smile, end with a smile, which is the motto all year round. So until next time, guys, I'll catch you next week. Have a great week ahead. Stay dry and stay cool if it's hot or wet, wherever you guys are. More importantly, all the premium guys on Sundays, the check-in. So 35-day Dan, the new program. I hope you guys are really enjoying it. Till next time, have a good weekend. Catch you later.